guys, it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the very first video you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. I post Monday through Saturday, and I apologize if the lighting's a little weird. It is dark at night, so I have really weird lighting right now. So I'm going to do my top 10 reasons why I love to knit. So for those who don't know, I love to knit. I've been doing it since I was 13 years old, and I do it pretty much all the time because, like, I do it, not only do I do it for relaxation, I also do it because I run a knitting business from home. And if you guys want to see more detail on that video, detailed video about that, let me know down in the comments below, because I would love to make it. Like, I would love to share my experience of when I first started it and how I started it and how I came up with the name of my business and my and just so on and so forth. So let me know if you guys want a more detailed video down in the comments below about my business. So I'm going to get started. So number one number one on my list would is relaxing. So one thing I find what I find so relaxing about knitting is, like, when it gets my mind off the things that really stress me, like if something goes on at work, or if I had like a stressful week at school, or if I had like a stressful week during the week. It just would really get my mind off things, and it would help me out, calm me down, and like I would like do a lot of I would be doing it for hours because I would be relaxing for hours. It really helps me out. Number two on my list would have to be I love to try different stitches. Now, I am one of those people that literally loves to challenge myself. So if I see a stitch that I would like to try, I will like, if I see a stitch that I've never done before, I will work as hard as I can to try it out, and half the time I pretty much will keep trying and trying until I get the hang of it. And I usually do give up pretty easy, but sometimes when it comes to knitting, I like to literally just try and try until I get the hang of what I'm doing and everything. And that's one reason why I love to knit, is I love trying out all the different stitches, and I love the challenge you get. Number three on my list would be, it can be challenging, which I just said. So one thing about knitting is a lot of their stitches or techniques can be quite challenging, especially for beginners, but I literally love it because I like to see what I can try, and if I can't do it no matter how many times in knitting. I just keep trying and trying. Most of the time I do pretty much give up so easily because I get frustrated, but with knitting I just keep trying and trying because this is something I enjoy, and it's something that makes me happy because, like, even though no matter how hard the stitches are, sometimes I will keep trying and trying until I get the hang of them. Number four on my list is what you get out of it. So for me, I like what I get out of knitting. I get a beautiful piece of work. Like, I'll show you an example. Like this beanie. This one is one of my favorite beanies. I wear it all the time. I love it so much. One thing I love about what I got out of it was when I first started, it was just a circular piece I knitted in a circular round, but after I kept going and I finished, I got a beautiful beanie out of it, and this is actually my favorite beanie I wear. I wear it quite a lot. Yeah, I've worn this at least 1,000 times, and it's like one of my all-time favorite beanies to wear, and I just love how it turned out. Number five on my list would have to be the patterns. Now, I love patterns, especially really challenging patterns. Like, here is an example of a challenging pattern right here. It's a scarf. And funny story, I actually just redid my pom-poms on this because my pom-poms fell apart in the washing machine. This scarf is pretty much a challenge because it's a different stitch that I've never done before. And this is one of my favorite scarves. It's really soft and squishy. Sorry, that was my phone. I thought my friend was texting me or something. Yeah, so it's really soft and squishy, and I really like it, and it works great. It's so comfy, too. And this stitch was pretty challenging, and I heard it's rather difficult to rip out and do a few rows, and it actually is. I know because I've done this stitch many, many times before. I've done this stitch before, and I did have a little difficulty with it, too. But to be honest, once I got the hang of it, it wasn't that hard. And then my Hermione Granger beanie. Whoops, I stepped on my beanie. Oh, it's not dirty. Oof, sorry. So my Hermione Granger beanie, which I have right here. This was a challenge when I first made it because it literally was like, I kept getting the pattern screwed up and I kept getting confused with the pattern. And I had to keep starting it over like 3 or 4 times until I got the hang of it. So basically, it was a challenge and stuff for me because like I haven't knitted in I used to hardly ever knit all the time, and then I just stopped doing it for a while due to the fact it was time consuming. Number 5 on my list. Did I do number 5? Yeah, I think it is picking the patterns. One thing I love about knitting is like the patterns that you pick out, like, or the patterns that usually come with a certain hat. Like this hat, for example. This hat has a really awesome pattern. It's like one of my favorite patterns because it's so easy to do. This one was also a simple pattern that I did. This one was a pretty simple pattern, but the decreasings were a little bit of a challenge because I still had to keep up the pattern even with the decreasing. But no matter how hard it got, I still found it super easy. Because like a lot of patterns are pretty simple. Like a lot of like the patterns that are picked out for things are really great and stuff, and they make such beautiful designs. Number 6 on my list would have to be picking yarn colors. Picking the yarn colors for me is like literally part of the fun because like you get so many different options, like this stuff for example. Like this is one of my favorite colors to knit with because it's pink, because pink's one of my favorite colors. And then here's a beautiful blue. This is such a beautiful blue color, and I haven't knitted with this kind of blue in so long. It's such a beautiful color, and it's going to make such a cute beanie. It'll make such a cute beanie, and I'm really excited to try it. And I just love the colors, and I like the beautiful designs you get with the colors and stuff. Number 7 on my list would have to be picking yarn. Now picking yarn is pretty much part of the fun for me because like you have so many options. Like you can choose something like this, which is, if you can't really see, it's like a bulky weight yarn, but it's really, really beautiful. Or you could choose something easy to work with like worsted weight. If you can see that, that is worsted weight. So this is thicker than this. So that's like the fun part about it is like picking the yarn and the colors you want, and that is like the amazing thing because you get to choose so many options. Like a lot of patterns will come with certain yarns that you have to use to follow the pattern, but that's what makes it super fun. Number 8 on my list would have to be picking needle sizes. Now picking needle sizes is another part of the fun. You have other options like size 9 needles, size 8 or size 8. The only difference is the bigger the needle, the bigger the stitch, or the smaller the needle, the smaller the stitch, and that's like the fun part when you start knitting. So a lot of people like to start with bigger needles when they first start because it's easier to see their stitches. I actually started with smaller needles because I got a knitting kit from from a craft store one time, and I forgot what size needles they were. I think they were size 8 or something. I don't remember, but they were plastic needles. And if you guys don't know, I hate plastic needles. Hey, please excuse me. Sorry. Hold on a second. Sorry, I had a little emergency. See, it was emergency with a friend, so sorry about that. Number 9 on my list would be picking your projects. So picking your projects is another part of the fun. Like you can pick like any project you want. Like you can pick, hang on. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. I just had a little thing. Sorry. So that's the fun part, is picking your needle size. You could use a smaller size or a larger size. It just depends on what project you're doing and what the pattern calls for. Number 9 on my list might be picking your projects. So picking your projects is another fun part about knitting, but the important thing is, like, if you're a beginner, to start with something that's easy and just has one stitch, due to the fact that if you start with something that has many stitches, you're going to get confused and it'll be way too hard for you. Just start with like something one stitch. Like my first project I started was a tiny scarf for a teddy bear, and I thought knitting was easy when I did that. So that's like the fun part. But if you're a beginner, the best thing is just to start with, sorry, that was my phone, just a scarf with just one stitch. Number 10 on my list would have to be the creativity. The one thing I love about knitting is the creativity you get. Like, you get to make so many different things for people. You can make hats, scarves, shawls. You can make anything when you put your mind to it. That is like the fun thing about knitting, and the thing that you get from it is the most amazing stuff you get from when you knit. Knit is like everything turns out beautifully. Even if you don't think you did well, it still turns out like you tried your best. So those are my top 10 reasons why I love to knit. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry this was so long, and I'm sorry if I was like on my phone while on the video. It's just a little emergency happened. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post Monday through Saturday, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!